Hello, all you patrons. Here we are again with a July pre-show.
Indeed, indeed. Welcome, welcome. July Fry has reared its ugly head. June gloom has dissipated. The pleasures and joys of Southern California in the cool are gone, gone, gone.
That's for sure. It's so hot. It's funny. It's like the weather knew. Oh, it's July now. Now it's time to fry. July fry.
Yep, July Fry. But the good news is it won't last forever. And in the last week or two of the month of July, you're going to see the first Halloween stuff show up in the stores, reminding you that there is a cooler time ahead of you.
Excellent. Excellent.
And with us here in Austria, it'll probably be, I don't know, in a month. But with you guys,
Well, it seems California it gets hotter. Like we're on a delay. Is I don't know,
September.
September now. Yeah, it's weird. So
When then Halloween comes and it starts to get cooler sometimes. Although there's nothing worse in my estimation than a warm Christmas.
yeah, I don't remember one for me. But
Oh, well, they've had them. I mean, they haven't been blazing hot, but they've been like in the low 70s, early 80s.
I see.
And I'll tell you, to me, a Christmas that's over 80, no.
I guess you're lucky you don't live in Australia, because isn't that a situation because it's reverse
Yeah,
season?
so that's why they have Christmas in July there.
Yeah, that's
In other words,
that's weird.
well, they celebrate Christmas at the normal time, of course, but uh, in the midst of July, they have a sort of pretend Christmas because it's cold and all the warm Christmassy stuff makes sense then. So they do Christmas twice a year.
Yeah. All right. All right. Questions.
Oh,
Uh, Don from Florida, top floor executive Don from Florida, fellow paisan, has a bunch of
oh.
questions. He says,
La 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 la. La 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 la.
okay, sure. If
All right.
He says, I recently discovered the name of Arlindo Veiga dos Santos, but I'm to find information on his life. Will Sir Charles please illuminate us on his life as best he can?
I don't know the first thing about him, so no.
Wow. Okay. Please discuss the life and work of Ludovico Ariosto. How would you rate his work in comparison to Dante?
Now that I know a little bit more. Orlando Furioso, I think, is what he did. Um, well, I mean, it was a bit different. If I've got the right man in mind, like if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But if he is who I think he is, then it's a little bit like comparing Chaucer with Sir Thomas Malory. Very much more concerned with very particular things, the romance of chivalry. I'm right. If let's see, was he Orlando Furioso? Do I know what I'm talking about? That would be great if I did. Don't you think? Pico Ariosto. Yeah, Orlando Furioso. There, I was right. Okay, good. Which I mean, it's a great poem, especially if, like myself, you're a fan of the Charlemagne cycle, The Matter of France, as opposed to the Arthurian cycle, The Matter of Britain. But Chaucer was a far more wide-ranging writer than Sir Thomas Malory, and Dante is far more wide-ranging than Ludovico Ariosto, which doesn't mean he's not worth reading by any stretch. I love Malory. I love Ariosto. So there you go.
Please, what are Charles's opinions on the life of Cardinal Ercole Consalvi? Ercole?
Ercole Consalvi.
What was his lasting impact on the church and Europe?
Well, he had one great failure and one great triumph. At the Congress of Vienna, he managed to get the Papal States revived and back in the hands of the Pope. So that was a triumph. He failed in getting the Holy Roman Empire revived, and that was a very big failure. But considering what he had against him, you can't really blame him.
Yeah, isn't that a tall ask? And
It was
what was
it
the
was
time
tall.
period?
We're talking about the Congress of Vienna, 1815. He was the Papal Secretary of State. And he was very, for what he was able to do, he was very successful. And what he couldn't do, probably no one could have.
Okay. Could Charles please discuss the life and reign of Queen of Sicily, Margaret of Navarre?
Boy, we are hitting all the weird elements of Italian history. I couldn't.
You're well read on Italian history. Why is that?
I'm not really well read on Margaret de Navarre. De Navarre.
Do you know anything about her?
Not really, but you know what? With the help of our trusty friends at Wikipedia, we know that she's not, and I repeat, not Margaret Atwood.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'm not as stupid as I thought. I actually do know a bit about her, not a lot. Yeah, she was one of the Valois. She was the sister of Francis I, and she married the King of Navarre. Interestingly, her daughter Jeanne III married Antoine de Bourbon, the Duke of Vendôme, and so her grandson became Henri IV, first Bourbon king of France, who had turned Protestant but became to become king of France and ended up putting the country back together.
Okay. In reference to your discussion a few weeks ago on the beauty of Spanish Gothic churches in the New World, my question is why there are not similarly Spanish in what was the Spanish mission territory of the now United States?
Simply because by the time the United States was settled, Spanish Gothic had been superseded by Spanish Baroque in the New World, and nobody was doing Gothic. It wasn't. They didn't even think of it. They didn't think twice about it. Everything was sort of a simplified Baroque.
Could Charles please discuss the historical significance of the crown of Constance of Aragon?
You are really doing your best to break me. All right.
I love this because, ladies and gentlemen, we kind of did the show cold, quote unquote. So it's like he didn't get the prep, and now we're coming out swinging.
We are winging it. We are utterly winging it. All right, Constance of Aragon, who was married twice. She was from Aragon, hence the name. 1179 to 1222. She was first the Queen of Hungary, and then Queen of Germany and Sicily and Holy Roman Empress. As Holy Roman Empress, Frederick II, the Stupor Mundi, and was the mother of Henry VII of Germany. She had an exciting life. She filled with flight, going back and forth. Her crown, she had a lot of adventures, but she died in Palermo, and gave left her crown to the cathedral, where it is now. So what's its significance? It belonged to the former Holy Roman Empress, the wife of Frederick II.
All right. Finally, what are some of Charles's favorite Catholic feast day celebrations and festivals during the summer in the United States?
Woo! Woof, woof, woof. They have to be Catholic, do they?
Sorry, yeah.
So 4th of July doesn't make it.
Honestly, I July makes it anyway for you, or does
All right.
it?
I don't know. Saturday in the park. I think it was the 4th of July. Saturday in the park. It must have been the 4th of July. You don't want me to go on with that, do you?
No.
Saturday in the park. I think it was the 4th of July. No?
No.
Okay. I'm a grand old flag. I'm a well-meaning bag. I don't know. All right, fine. I would say my favorite feasts in June would be Corpus Christi. This Feast of the Sacred Heart, of course. And, well, of course, St. John the Baptist and St. John's Eve. A little bit of ghostliness for you. July, the Feast of the Precious Blood, which is today, incidentally. July 25th, the Feast of St. James the Great, Santiago Manaos, and also St. And August, I would say August 15th, the Feast, and August 25th, St. Louis of France.
Okay, that's a good list. All right, we have. Man, you're going through these again. You're doing this again to me. Where I had 7 questions.
Look, I've got a wedding reception to get back to. Ladies and gentlemen, notice that I'm wearing what all the men in the. That's right, morning coat. And you know why we're all wearing it, gentlemen? Because this is wedding season.
It's true.
All over America, high school and college grads are getting out of school and marrying the girl of their dreams.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of friends who got married today. I snuck away from the reception to do the show. Last week, I snuck away from my own graduation party. Let that be a lesson to you.
All right.
I don't know what about.
Innocent Smith says he in Carmel in July or August. We'd love to have him come speak at Star of the Sea in San Francisco.
Oh, I'd love to do that. I'd absolutely love to do that. Who knows? Whenever I'll be back again, I'd love to do that. I love Monterey, Carmel, and despite its weird government and countercultural lifestyles, I love San Francisco. But if I'm going to San Francisco,
don't put a flower in your hair. Okay, we got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I do go there, I'm going to meet some gentle people there. Because you know what? All across the nation, there's a strange vibration. People in motion. There's a whole generation with a new explanation. Only they're all in their 60s and 70s and 80s, and they're running the church. That's not the way the song goes. I messed up on the lyrics.
All right.
You hear about the new head of the what used to be the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith that Papa Francesca has appointed?
What about?
Supposed to be running the doctrine of the church today, right? Well, he wrote a book. Let's see. Doctrine of the Faith. It has a new name. I think it's the Theory of Love. Bishop Victor Manuel Fernandez. And really fun book. The book he wrote in 1995, but it's called Heal Me with Your Mouth, The Art of Kissing.
You know what that reminds me of? Not. It's like it's supposed to be satire, except it's not satire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your look right now.
You know, this is in so many things. I wish I could give those who rule us what they give us. Wouldn't that be fun?
All right, let's wipe that taste out of my mouth. Yeah.
Steaming heaps of love. That's what I'd like to feed them.
Steaming heaps of love. All right, this just in a question just submitted, literally just now. What is Charles's opinion on Tolstoy? How does he compare with Dostoevsky?
Tolstoy's dead.
Well, they're both dead, so there's. Yeah.
I was going to say so's Dostoevsky. Well, it's much less realistic in his philosophy. I think Dostoevsky was Tolstoy was, in a sense, a utopian. He basically is one of these people who feel that man is not wonderful because of his surroundings and his institutions. Dostoevsky felt that the evil lay within man himself. And that's why Tolstoy wrote his book, Heal Me with Your Mouth, The Art of Kissing.
No.
No? Oh, it was Dostoevsky who wrote Heal Me with Your Mouth, The Art of Kissing. No?
Heal me with your mouth.
That's what it's called. It sounds like a porn film. It's all right, though. Did I ever tell you where I got my first kiss?
No. In and Out?
No. It was at a bar. Mr. Cacciatore's down on Sullivan Street.
Oh, I know that one. Down by the medical center.
Just across, that's right.
I have a serious question for you.
Sure.
What do you think? I've been talking to some people lately, and they're sort of interested in reading literature on Russian Orthodox spirituality, The Way of a Pilgrim and The Pilgrim Continues His Way. What's your opinion on that? You know, is that a danger? Speaking.
I think it could be. Also, we have so many Catholic mystical writers. St. John of the Cross, St. Teresa of Avila, Meister Eckhart, Blessed Richard Suso, Blessed Johannes Tauler. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on.
It's kind of like the question of why, right? Like, why go there?
Yeah.
So is there something there that's not here?
No, but the mystical tradition. Remember, and now I'm not being snide.
Yeah.
Remember, we're living in the Catholic Church in a time when
the fans are really on you. Blowing. Here we go.
Living in a time when the leadership of the church writes books like that, and they don't really seem very much interested in God, the sacraments, the direct experience of God. Or to put this another way, they're not really interested in the Holy Grail.
Right.
If you get what I mean. And so as a result, there's very little mention made of the Catholic mystical tradition unless and except it can be used as a way to attack dogma.
Hmm.
Sometimes oh, well, I prefer the mystical aspect of things to the actual rules of the church, as though there were an opposition. Um, but we have a vast Catholic mystical tradition. I mean, there was the English school, Richard Rolle and Walter Hilton and Dame Julian of Norwich, the Cloud of Unknowing. It's the French school. I mean, they're all St. Bonaventure, St. Francis, St. Dominic. I don't know where to begin. The we have so many. Our own Saint Junipero Serra, whose feast day this is, in addition to the Feast of the Precious Blood. He was a disciple of Blessed Raymond Lull. You're not going to get more mystical than that.
So I'm not connecting the dots here. So you're saying that's why people like dip into Orthodox literature?
They dip into Orthodoxy,
for the mystical stuff?
Right, not realizing the enormous stuff that we have at home. And they don't realize it because the leadership we have, that's the last thing on their minds.
Interesting. Okay, so just stay away. Let's
Well,
finish.
I mean, it's not going to kill you, but the danger is that it might lead you away from Catholicity and into Orthodoxy.
Of course.
Just as the danger of having worthless leadership is that it might lead you away from the faith. That's the problem with having a hierarchy that behave as though they aren't Catholic. They fall away. It's the same with reading. I mean, if you're strongly grounded in the faith and you know that above all it's true, then you can read almost anything and be in no danger. But very few people today are well grounded in the faith because those who are around them. The hierarchy is supposed to teach, sanctify, and govern. All they do now is govern with an iron rod, as though governance were all there were. But sanctify, teach, pa!
Okay. All right, very good, Charles. That's going to do it for the pre-show. Stay tuned, full episode. Gotcha.
Hurry. It's coming along. It's got to move real quick. Don't got no time. Got me a wedding to get back to.